Now, concern is rising in the Jewish community after a series of anti-Semitic incidents over the last several days. CBS 2's Amy Johnson shows us and has reaction from local Jewish leaders.
These signs popped up near the kosher market in the 400 block of La Brea early this week.
This is cause for further investigation and hopefully some clarity as to who indeed is trespassing in this way.
Richard Hershot is the regional director for the American Jewish Committee. The signs spark fear for some in the community because they may have a connection to the horrific attack at the market in Jersey City last week.
There have been pockets and clusters of an organization called the Black Hebrew Israelites in some of the larger cities and urban areas across the United States. Whether or not there is any link whatsoever to those who are propagating this message and promoting these flyers versus the horrific attack in Jersey City is something that we simply do not know.
The signs have been taken down, but you can still see the remnants of this one, part of the sign and the tape, and it was hanging just steps away from the market. There has been an increase in anti-Semitic violence in the LA area. The LAPD just released this video of a suspect accused of vandalizing cars in 3 Jewish schools between December 14th and 16th. And this is the man police say vandalized the Nessa synagogue in Beverly Hills, desecrating a Torah and damaging other items.
Sadly, part of a steady drumbeat of hate that we've seen in America.
Hershot will be part of a special town hall for action to combat anti-Semitism tonight in Beverly Hills. Amy Johnson, CBS 2 News.
All right, Shalom. I want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Wahar Rakah Quadash, which in the ancient Hebrew tongue would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. I also would like to give double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much due honors and respect to the sincere brethren out there that's also laboring in His work. And as always, I want to say shalom to the believers, the Akim as well as the Aqua, which would be you brothers along with the sisters that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, what you just witnessed in the opening clip was more proof, if you will, as if we needed to produce any more evidence that we have the truth over here. I starting with the apostles and the elders, and primarily the men here at Great Millstone, okay? Now, even amongst these other groups, although we might not see eye to eye on certain things, yet they push out the vibration of Israel. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans being the true biblical Israelites, all right? As well as the idea of the so-called white man being the Edomites. And this have prompted, these devils to fire up that propaganda machine, man, and to push out their witchcraft in the form of their media, which when you go into that word media, it goes back to the word medium, which pretty much translates to witchcraft. And this is all done in effort, to persuade the minds of the people so that these devils might be justified in coming after us. And this is how these devils have always got down, man. When you assess the way these devils go about their business, it's nothing hidden, it's out there in the open, it's well documented. For an example, when you go back into like the Taliban, or Al-Qaeda, where these devils would go into certain lands and they would overthrow, the leader of that particular country. Well, it all began with demonization, They'll demonize these certain groups and they'll frame them as being terrorists, okay? And in doing so, they manipulate the minds of the people. And what happened, the people support them going into those particular lands. Now, really, when you scratch beneath the surface, it was all driven by greed, okay? Whenever these devils, push out that tactic of demonization, it's all driven by greed, all right? To go up into these lands and set up their military bases, their embassies, in effort to seize control of the resources of that land. And it's not just gold and oil, and minerals. It's also drugs, when you consider Afghanistan, where those devils went up in there and the whole campaign was centered around them seizing control of those poppy fields. And that's why you have this opioid crisis today over here in America, okay? But when it comes to, you know, the so-called black Hebrew Israelites, you know, that's the narrative they paint. We don't have resources, man. We don't have a standing army, man, or military, you know? So what's the driving force behind them, you know, accusing us falsely and demonizing us, man, and painting us as the new enemy of the government? Something as subtle as the truth, man. And you saw in the opening clip that this guy was not only lying his ass off, you know, it was scripted, but you also saw the fear, man. So that proves that we have the truth over here, okay? So these devils is to fear, not you brothers, you know, you sisters, you know, the brothers in the camps, the believers. It's not for us to fear, okay? Matter of fact, let's go ahead and start off in the book of 1 Peter, the 3rd chapter, and starting at the 12th verse. It says, "For the eyes of the Lord are over the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayers. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil." Yeah, and that's dealing with you devils, man. Okay, the Lord is against you. Okay, here it is. You are the biggest pimps. Okay, the so-called Jews, they are behind the porn industry. They're the biggest drug lords and distributors of drugs. You know, like I mentioned, how these devils went up into Afghanistan and seized control of the poppy fields. All right, they distribute the drugs, yet they paint the picture of Issachar, the so-called Mexicans, as being the drug lords. You know, they promote it in the form of these documentaries centered around, you know, Mexican cartels. And here it is, you devils is the biggest distributors of drugs on the face of the earth. See, the Lord is against you. But the face of the Lord is against them that do evil. And a part of that evil is scandalizing and bearing false witness and making false accusations. Being the devil that you are, that's how you was designed. When you go into that word devil, it pretty much means deceiver, but it also goes back to the word diablo, which means accuser, which goes hand in hand. Look, in order for you to false accuse, you have to apply a certain element or level of deception. When you consider these wicked Edomite cops, when they plant guns and drugs on you, right, they have to use deception. So in order for you to accuse falsely, there's an element of deception. So that word devil pretty much covers the spectrum of being a deceiver and a false accuser, which that's none other than the so-called white man. See, verse 13, it says, "And who is he that will harm you if ye be followers of that which is good?" See, so we have nothing to fear, man. Okay, the Lord is going to deliver us out of the hands of these devils. All right, again it says, "And who is he that will harm you if ye be followers of that which is good?" And that's heavy because when you consider like Instagram and Twitter, you have followers. Well, that can be applied to these different YouTube channels. You know, brothers that follow this channel or certain channels where the truth is on display, well, that will make you followers of that which is good. See? So you have nothing to fear. Because when you do the research, these devils have the red list, blue list, yellow list. And not only is that list compiled with brothers, you know, consist of brothers such as myself who teach this word, but as well as you that follow us, because they monitor, you know, what you view. You see? But again, the scriptures say, "And who is he that will harm you if you be followers of that which is good?" See? So the Lord is going to protect us. All right, verse 14. "But, and if ye suffer Salakia, let's read this again. It says, "But, and if ye suffer for righteousness' sake," yeah, meaning if you do happen to find yourself apprehended, brought up on charges, brought into a concentration camp, that means you're suffering for righteous sake, see? "But, and if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye." See that? So across the board, you're going to be happy. Now, right now, as of this moment, you know, when you foreshadow, you might not see yourself as being happy, but the Lord will put a certain spirit on you, man. You know, they bring you up in them camping, in a camp, you know, concentration camp, and all of a sudden you're overwhelmed with a feeling of happiness, man. See, the Lord is beautiful, man. And all the brothers out there that might have to suffer that fate, you might not even feel it. Scriptures talk about how the Lord is going to take away that sting of death, man. See? It says, and be not afraid of their terror. So you devils is the terrorists, man. See? And be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. See? Verse 15, but sanctify the Lord. It said, but sanctify the Lord power in your hearts, and be ready always to give answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear. Yes, so we possess a certain hope. And when brothers or sisters inquire about this hope, we got to break it down to them. All right? The reason why we feel the way we feel, the reason why we cleave and hold fast to this doctrine. And we believe wholeheartedly that Yahweh Shema Shai is going to step in on our behalf and deliver us. See? Verse 16, it says, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you. And you just saw that in the opening clip. Okay, these devils, here it is. We just teaching out of the Bible. All right, these devils demonizing us, saying that we a terrorist group. And when you check us out, which the Lord has cornered you devils off, there's millions of videos out there, man. And the biggest thing you're going to see is maybe a skirmish, a pushing and shoving match, man. At best. All right? Yet these devils is framing us as being a dangerous terrorist group. See? It says, having a good conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers. Yeah, they say that we evildoers. See? They may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach. Let's read this again. They may be ashamed, see, that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach. See that? So they falsely accuse us for this good conversation that we have in Hamashiach, meaning in these scriptures. Because that's all we do. Everything is based around the scriptures. Matter of fact, when you click on this word, real quick, for falsely accused, Salaki, let me get the pronunciation real quick.
Strong's G 1908 Epereadzo.
It says to insult, yeah, and that's an insult for you to say that we terrorists, man. Here it is, we show composure. There's been situations we've been faced with people, in our face. We display a certain level of decorum. I know at our camp we done had motherfuckers to roll up, banishing their gun on us, bringing dogs up to the camp, and we held our composure. So that's an insult for you to say that we terrorists, all right? And furthermore, you devils is the terrorists. That's to add insult to injury, see? It says to treat abusively, use despitefully, to revile, okay, in a forensic sense, to accuse falsely. See that? To accuse falsely. Now, when you go down to the strong definition, it says to insult, slander, to slander. See? So you devils are slandering us, and that's a capital offense in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Okay? Which brings me to the book of Psalms, chapter 101, and starting at verse 3. It says, I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. Yeah, and that's dealing with these devils, man. The Lord hate the work of them, okay, that turn aside. And what's the form of their work? Slander and demonization. See? Verse 4, a forward heart, Salaki, a forward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Yeah, the Lord is not dealing with any Edomites, man. See? Verse 5, it says, whoso privately slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Yeah, so the Lord is going to cut you devils off. You guilty of offending in this scripture right here. Again, whoso privately slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. And that's ultimately what's going to happen. Yahweh Shema Shah is going to cut you devils off, man. You're going to lose your power. See? It says, him that have an high look and a proud heart will I not suffer. And that's dealing with Esau. Okay? Now, real quick, I want to end it right here in Deuteronomy, the 19th chapter, okay, in the law, which, let me get it right here, which pretty much, when you go into the law, that's dealing with the mindset, if you will, you know, for lack of better words, the mentality, so to speak, of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. All right, if you want to know what pleases Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, we'll go into the law. You know, although we can't keep the law in its entirety, but, you know, our desire is to do the things that please Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. So, you know, if we had it our way, we would keep the law, you know. But as it were, we here in this wicked society, and that's another indictment against the so-called white man. He's not for the law, okay? But when you go into the law, pretty much it's the mindset and the expectations that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah have for you and how you should serve him, okay? And that brings me to Deuteronomy, the 19th chapter. And let me see, starting at the 16th verse, it says, if a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord. And in this case, that's actually happening because everybody is before the throne of the Lord. There's nothing hidden before Yahweh Shema Shah. So the Lord see you devils, you know, planting those spiritual drugs on us, so to speak. You know, you had, like, again, you had these cops that plant drugs and guns on you. Well, that's pretty much in essence what you devils is doing. You know, you're accusing us as being something that we're not. When you plant drugs on someone, you're accusing them to be a drug dealer when they're not a drug dealer. So when these devils come out and say that we terrorists, well, you're accusing us of being something that we're not. All right? Again, Deuteronomy 19 and 17. Then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days, and the judges shall make diligent inquisition. Yeah, when you go into the word inquisition, it pretty much means intense interrogation, pretty much. And that's what we're doing, man, being the judges of Israel. You don't see these so-called pastors and preachers coming out and getting on these devils for demonizing us. Really, the men had great millstone is making diligent inquisition. We intensely interrogating you devils. Every time you try, you make a move, we make a move. Okay? It says, and behold, if the witness be false, okay, which in this case the witness is obviously false. This witness against us is obviously false. It says, if the witness be a false witness and have testified falsely against his brother, which Esau is guilty of, see, then shall ye do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. And see, that's going to be the penalty. Everything that you're, you know, thinking of in your mind, conspiring to do against us, is going to be done to you, man. Because really, you want to just kill us. But guess what? We're going to end up killing your ass, man. All right? In the kingdom, or whenever the Lord give us the green light and give us the power to do so. See? Then ye shall do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shalt thou put the evil away from among you. And that's ultimately what's going to happen. We're going to put evil away from amongst us overall. Okay? In the kingdom, after you devils serve 1,000 years of slavery, we're going to just get rid of your ass, man. We're going to put evil away from amongst us. See? Verse 20, and those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you, and thine eye shall not pity. Right, so the Lord said we are not going to pity you devils, but life shall go for life. Yeah, so everything you attended for us, we're going to do to your ass. And it tells you that in Revelation, the 13th chapter, those who lead into captivity shall go into captivity. That's justice, man. See? But life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot. Yeah, so I just want to touch on that, Lord willing. It was edifying. Till the next time I say it, Shalom.